We're at Gamescom 2016 and we're catching up on FIFA 17. A lot of things going on with FIFA this year. Certainly one of the most interesting releases in recent years. Switching the engine, adding the journey. There's a lot going on. How do you feel? We're just like a month out from release. How do you feel about the project?
I've been on FIFA since FIFA 12. Which was a very exciting year for me because it was my first FIFA and we did a great product. But FIFA 17 is I think it's the best FIFA we've ever made, and we always say that, so sometimes people laugh, but I think the modes that we've put in, the content, the quality, we've got something for all of our fans in the game, and it's going to be great.
It is interesting. And how would you say the significance of switching over to Frostbite? What's the significance of that?
Well, it was a huge project for us. We started on it, a few years ago. We worked really hard on it. We had a lot of help from our friends at DICE, our friends at BioWare to help us understand how to use it the right way. And once we started that trip of how do we get this engine working, we really got thinking about what do we want to do with this. And that's where a lot of the first discussions on the journey came about. So because Frostbite gives us that ability to make, all the amazing lighting, new environments, better characters, better visuals, we started thinking we really want to use this new tool to do something amazing that we haven't been able to do before, and that is the journey, which is our new cinematic story mode within FIFA 17.
It's interesting because I think that FIFA's always been a narrative experience at some level for the player, but this time you're sort of putting yourself to sort of carry forward that narration in a very different way. What's that been like for the team? I can imagine that there's a few that's pretty new to you guys.
Yeah, it's something ever since I started working in video games, I've wanted to deliver that player experience of becoming a footballer, right? And living that life and seeing what life is like off the pitch. So we knew we wanted to make that story. We also knew we didn't have all the experience that we needed to do that. So we brought in a lot of new people to the team who had worked on narrative experiences before. We worked with some really amazing writers to bring that authenticity. And then we also worked with some players, so Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, who had gone through some of those experiences in their own lives. And we wanted to make sure it was authentic and we were telling it the right way. So I think we did a great job on that.
Rashford must have come on very late in the process, I guess, because he just broke through last spring.
Well, it's very interesting. When we announced that he had done some work with us, people sort of thought, oh, they must have done this, very late. But it just worked out so well that, his rise was very sudden. But we had already been sort of speaking to him as just a young player within the Premier League. Harry Kane's another one who seems like he kind of came out of nowhere a few years ago, but he actually had been out on loan with a number of different clubs, and their two experiences really helped us understand how to tell a story in a few different ways, and I think when people play the journey, they'll see some of those storylines come out.
It is interesting because a young footballer's career is kind of up and down. You don't expect them to sort of week in, week out deliver the same kind of experiences. Certainly Harry Kane had that at the Euros, not as successful as he would have liked it to be. And I think for Rashford, he's only looked great the little period of time that we've seen him, but he may come up on hard times. And I guess that's also something that fits a narrative very well, that it is that up and down sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a huge part of any sort of amazing book you read or movie you see or any kind of narrative has those ups and downs, and we wanted to build all of that into the journey and into the story, but we always wanted it to be about you and your performance and your actions. So I think when people play the journey, they'll see that their performances on the pitch, how they answer questions in post-match interviews or talking to their manager or teammates, the way that their personality is shaped and the way that they play on the pitch will change certain scenes and certain parts of the story and give a different context to the story. So this is very much not you playing and just things are happening without your involvement. We want this to feel like you're really driving the story.
It's interesting because it seems like there's a little bit of an emphasis on young players with this FIFA. You had 4 players that were up for the cover vote. Of course, local hero, Marco Reus. I don't know if it's really a local hero because this is Cologne, and it's very much not Dortmund, but he was here this week trying the game. But is that why you picked those 4 players? Because may not be the most obvious choices for the cover votes.
Yeah, the youth was such a big focus for us when we worked with these ambassadors who are all, still young or very much in their prime as footballers, and we wanted it to be about that next generation of footballers, and it really, I think, tied in nicely with, the journey and that starting point that people will play. But I met Marco a few days ago, and it's really refreshing to work with someone he's amazing at the game. We had him on a live stream, and he scored 2 goals. We weren't sure what to expect, but he obviously plays the game a lot, and he's really into it. And just such a nice, personable guy that he's really great to work with.
Hopefully he will get to play a major championships very soon. A bit disappointed that he missed out on the Euros and missed out on another big championship. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the licensing scene of football games is changing a little bit. Yeah. Obviously, you're the big dogs. You got a lot of licenses locked down, but it seems like your competition is changing tactics a little bit. How do you feel that impacts your product and things like not having Camp Nou in there and things like that?
Yeah, I think it's obviously a little bit disappointing for us, but I think on both sides I know our goal is always to deliver the most authentic game of football we can, and that of course means getting as many authentic licenses, clubs, players as we can, because we know there's fans all over the world who have their own local favorite league and club. So we're always listening to our fans to hear what are the things we're missing that we should be adding to FIFA. And I think our competitors, obviously they want to do the same thing. They want the most authentic game that they can deliver to their fans. So we'll have to see where it goes. I think our mission has always been to try to deliver that. Looks like they're doing that as well, so we'll just have to see where that goes in the future.
And you've signed some sort of partnerships with like Manchester United and Bayern Munich, trying to sort of closer ties with those clubs. Yeah. Is that something that you see expanded on in the future?
I think so. What that gets us is, amazing access to those players. So we're able to get the full scans of all the player faces, really try to deliver that authenticity for the fans of those clubs. So for Bayern, for example, making sure we get all the players, getting access to the players to be able to play the game, early, get some of their feedback. So I think for the development side of the game, that's what's been really nice, is making sure that all the players look amazing, we get all that great access, and then we can even get feedback early on.
Interesting. This interview wouldn't be complete without asking you about your expertise, Ultimate Team. How are you dealing with Ultimate Team this year, and what kind of things are you adding to it?
Yeah, so I think for Ultimate Team, one of the big things is competition. So we've found over the last number of years, and since I joined FIFA, people have been migrating to FUT to play online, so to play those head-to-head matches. So we've added FUT Champions, which is a new mode into FUT this year. And that's all about playing these new daily tournaments. And if you win one of those daily tournaments, you get access to this new weekend league. So this is 48 hours of gaming against some of the best FUT players in the world. And the more wins you get, the better rank tier you get. And we're going to be giving the biggest in-game rewards that we've ever had available in FIFA Ultimate Team. So that's pretty exciting on its own. But then we've also announced the Ultimate Team Championship Series, and the FIFA Interactive World Cup is a partnership, and we've got a combined $1.3 million prize pool. So this is kind of our first big step into competitive gaming within FIFA, and we're really excited about it. And then we've got a second big feature, which is called Squad Building Challenges. And our community, we debuted some of these challenges on a live stream, and our community has really reacted positively to it. So these are challenges where we're asking people to put together different combinations of chemistry, nation requirements, different numbers of players, and people really have to use their football knowledge and their FUT knowledge to figure out how to put these together to get the right balance of the squads that they're giving up with the rewards that we have within the feature. And again, it's been really exciting to see the reaction. People can't wait now for launch to see what challenges will be available and how they're going to solve those.
That is interesting because, of course, there's always been a meta game of how to sort of build your FUT team, but maybe you will sort of also that can be used to sort of make people look at things in a different light and sort of try new things and encourage that.
I agree, and so much of people's focus has been, how can I put, of course, my ultimate team together to be the best possible players to play the game, either offline or online. But with squad building challenges, you don't have to play the game. It's more about your knowledge of all the players, the items, the chemistry, and how can you put those together. So I think it's a totally new way to play FUT. We've also added it on our companion app, so you can go from your console to your phone with the same challenges and complete them on either. So it's a great way to take that feature on the go as well.
Just to iterate on when's it coming out, when's the demo coming out, all that good stuff.
Yes, we've got the demo coming out on September 13th. If you're an EA Access member on Xbox One, you can check out the full game on the 22nd. And then we're coming out worldwide starting on September 29th.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks very much.